gentlemen, and welcome to another fantastic weekend of Formula One racing here on the EGL Extreme Gaming League. I'm Tipsy Bob, and joining me on the mic is my trusty sidekick and my good friend, Dad Bats. Covering all the action today, we're going to be covering everywhere from Monaco, Singapore, Abu Dhabi, and Bahrain, all across the world, all across the country. We have a full grid lined up, some of the best talent around the world. We have plucked them from all corners of the earth to give you some of the greatest racing experience viewing footage you'll ever see in your lifetime. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the EGL. There we go, once and all the cars are all lining up on the grid. They're all getting ready. The drivers will be focusing on their first corner. Are they going to take it? What are they going to do? Is it going to go deep? Are they going to go? Who knows? Let's take out the way we go! DRS is still active, and if Timo wants to get this moved on, he's gonna need to use this DRS zone because I have a feeling. Oh no, Timo comes under the pressure in this action zone. I tried to mount up another overtake on 1v3 trademark. This is Ryan's trademark. Timo cracks under the pressure once again.
And Timo are oh, it's the pit. Oh no! Oh my god, this so sorry, control myself. So Timo
I won't be going to penalty too, so they can stand at the back together again, just like Timo likes it.
how many times did you see how many times Timo tried to get into the pit?
Hi everybody, hope everyone's ready to go for another race here this weekend. Should be quite an interesting one this. The track's quite a twisty, quite a curvy layout, so lots of high-speed corners, lots of constant action, and yeah, the last few weeks are anything to go by. We're in for a real treat. Yep, and already quite a few DNFs here on this this qualifying round. McKender, Larson, Trevelyan, Bajan, and Futuristic all not able to put in a time. Yeah, it's not normally too bad, this one. It's usually I find on the last corner is the hardest one to avoid getting track limits on, and it's usually because you end up running wide, that sort of double right-hander before you come onto the main straight. It's so easy just to creep out to the left too far. So, oh, and it's a wet race by the look of it. Wow. Okay, so this this changes things. This is good. I think yeah, this really puts puts some more pressure on the drivers, as if this track's not already demanding enough as it is. Oh, exactly. That's exactly it. I wonder if we're going to get a dry race then for the next race or not. I don't know if there's any crew chiefs or that in chat that can maybe give us an idea of what the weather's going to be. But yeah, certainly rain for this first race. Just wait for everybody to pop up on the start grid. It's like the hardest lap of the race. Almost always a bump somewhere and a just double disqualification as a result. Yeah, of course, a lot of these corners have got quite high bankings on them as well. They're very cambered as you come into them, so there's going to be a lot of sliding, I'd imagine. We already see a bit of an incident further down the pack there. That looks like Janis Correas, who's, just a little bit slidey there, back end stepping out just a little bit. And he's currently holding up Futuristic and Nico Rosbot, who are down at the back. Quite a slow and careful formation lap at the front there from Pretorius, who's, I'd imagine if he's looking at his map, he'll be slowing down just a little bit just to try and get the back of the pack to catch up a bit. And this will allow his tyres not to get too cooled off as he's sitting on the start grid waiting. I think somebody else has spun. Sorry to cut you up there. There's in fact, two people spin for that. It's Trevor Linden and Jazz Carreras again on the second DRS straight there. Yep, absolutely. We have Pretorius is starting to line up now, and the back markers are still another 2 corners away yet. So yeah, he's going to be waiting quite some time. as they come and form up now. So I'd imagine, just as a quick warning in advance, that our timing screen is probably going to get a bit messy as we set off. The times will be all over the place, the positions are going to be all over the place. That usually sorts itself out after lap 2 or 3 or thereabouts. So yeah. Yeah, that's the safest bet, I think. So everyone lined up on the grid now, of course. Just waiting for the lights. Here we go now. 4 lights, 5 lights, and any minute now. There's drive-through penalties already. Jump starts from 3 of them. Bajan Krias and Renika Rosbach all jump start. Pretorius gets a really good start actually off the start line there. And we're 3 wide into the first corner already as we go around that corner. That's quite some craziness straight off the bat. There's already a yellow flag as well. I'm not quite sure who that is. There's somebody going very slow at the very back there as we come towards this. Absolutely. I think that was George that had a bit of a mishap there early on. He's currently playing catch up at the back of the grid, so I think he's had a spin there. Yeah, straight away there's already pockets of action going on here, and predictably our timing screen's all over the place. Oh, Tipsy Bob, a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. That must have been a pretty big corner cut wherever that happened. We've got another yellow flag further back. I think that was Max Spiltz that time, who's now having a bit of a battle with George there. I think both of them spinning there into one another. I'm trying to see if they've got damage. Nicolaitis, I think, got away with it. He doesn't appear to have any damage, so I think Mikenda must have tapped the back of his car there. Oh, there's some damage rolling down the start-finish straight there that's just bounced off one of the walls. I'm just trying to see whose that is. Ah, already. That's so avoidable as well. Oh, of course, yeah. So Bajan's in there actually to serve a drive-through penalty and then picks up another penalty by speeding. So he's not having a very good race at all. So I think we still have Pretorius in the lead at the minute. Dragon is just behind him, followed by George and Hammer. I think there's a yellow... There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. There's yet another spin. Another spin from Trevor Linden just into that awkward kink at the end of the second DRS straight. And another spin on the second to last lap. That is Tipsy Bob, who's spun off wide there. And we have another car off the track, Nicolaitis this time. I think this is going to be how most of the race is going to go. I think, to be honest, I mean, these cars are a fair bit slower than their F1 counterparts, anyway, as it is. But yeah, throw in these wet conditions as well. Oh, big slide there from Nicolaitis coming out of the hairpin. Oh, Joel spun out as well now, just up at the back straight. He's trying to quickly get that car turned around without getting onto the track too much. Oh no, yeah, he slid straight through the gravel and into the barrier there. So on lap 301 down already, we have a full course yellow. It is a safety car, in fact, sorry. Yep. That's another wonderful Codemasters bug there. It's frustrating that we have to exit to the bring up the main menu and then switch it off again to see things like that. But yeah, full course safety car. Of course, these guys have to. I don't think so. I'm gonna guess it's the same as F1 in that you don't need to pit if it's raining. So if you think you can do the whole race on one set of tires, I think you're well within your rights to do so. I'm sure. I'm sure chat will be able to let us know if we've got that wrong with the rulings. But yeah, I don't think there's a mandatory pit stop. Oh, McKender's going on to mediums, and so is Max Spiltz. Hello? And Bajan doing the same thing. It looks too wet. Oh yeah, it's definitely still falling. I mean, is it meant to dry up? This is going to be. Yeah. Yep, I think it'll get quite frantic quite quickly. So yeah, unusual choice of tyres there from some of the drivers. Be interesting to see how this plays out. So I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure how the tires work here, if you can get intermediates, but yeah, if that's the tire compound that's available to them, it makes sense to use them, but I can't honestly remember how it works. It's a bit different to F1. Yep, George is pitting now as well for mediums. Oh, speeding penalty for him as well. So I wonder how long the safety car is actually going to remain out then, because looking at the mini-map, there's actually cars, well, spread out quite a way around the track, so nobody's actually, I say nobody, the back half of the field isn't actually part of that safety car train at the minute, and they're all having to try and catch up. Although I do believe there's a maximum amount of laps that the safety car will do before pulling in. I just can't remember how many that is. Yeah, absolutely. They'll be biding their time, trying to drive quite gently in the hope that the rain clears off a little bit more before the restart. There is still spray coming off the back of some of these cars, but yeah, I don't see any more rain falling. I think it's just a damp, greasy track now. Oh, loads of people coming to the pits. Wow. Okay, so this really shakes things up then, because if the back half of the field can make it round, the guys that have pitted onto mediums, if they can get round quickly enough, they might be able to jump them. Yep, absolutely. So the front runners are already leaving the pits now then, and the guys at the back are being held up a little bit by Max Spiltz, who's going quite slowly around the last corner now. Would have. Yeah, so actually a really good recovery drive from him there then. So Janis Correa's pitting now for his set of mediums as well. Like you say, we still have Larson and Gerla out on track at the minute. They've decided to stay out. Not sure if that's a deliberate tactic or if that could possibly be just simply to avoid stacking up with teammates. And safety car is in this lap as well, so if it is to avoid stacking, then this is going to hurt them badly then. You would have thought that if the reason for them not pitting was to avoid a stack, then you would have thought it would have been better off just going for the stack just to get the fresh set of tyres. But yeah, safety car in this lap, which is really strange looking at the map because there's cars everywhere. So, no, absolutely not. Yep, so away we go. So we're in the bizarre situation now where the front half of the grid is racing again and the back half of the grid isn't allowed to overtake yet because they haven't passed the start-finish line. Yep. Just seeing Ocean Chief in chat saying can't hear Eversax. I don't know if there's a... I would have thought so, yeah. I hope not.
That would be rather bad. Alright, I think it's showing me talking again.
Yep, I'll see if you are or not.
I'm not sure what the issue there was. At the very least, I'm back now. Hopefully.
I think can chat confirm if they can hear Eversax now. Please, Chief.
There is yellow flags. I believe that might have been Max Biltz back there. No, Nico Rosberg probably. Or Bejar.
Yeah, but it certainly seems to have cleared now. We are back underway. Again, quite a spread grid right across the whole track here.
And we're in lap 8 out of 19 and already so much action here, but the whole grid is just spread over the whole track, as you can see on the track map as well. I'm just leaving it up for now just so you can see how spread out the cars are. But we do have Tipsy Bob right behind Joel. I think we might be seeing a move here soon.
Yep, quite a few guys.
And there's another spin,
flag.
Trevor Linden. Yes, Trevor Linden just lost a few positions there.
I'll say they'll be struggling a wee bit at the minute in these greasy conditions. Chief confirming that you can be heard now on stream. So that's good.
Right, thank you.
So, welcome back to Eversnacks, everybody.
And Tipsy Bob is trying, he's looking at the move here, not quite making it yet. Oh, and Max Biltz spins towards the back. Tipsy Bob right on the tail of Joel here. We might be definitely seeing a move here on the start-finish straight if he gets a good exit. It's looking pretty good right now.
Trying to get to grips with these medium tyres now. DRS has now been enabled, so
and Tipsy Bob, without the DRS, Tipsy Bob pulls alongside Joel, but is it enough to make the overtake happen here on the inside line? They're still side by side.
They're very close. Tipsy Bob's not backing out of it.
Oh, that was a very close move there. Bit of a lockup from Tipsy Bob, and
another
I think
speeding
Joel
penalty
stays in front for now. Yes, Trevor Linden. Oh, as we see another move by Tipsy Bob here through this middle section. Oh, and he's off. Joel is off. Joel is off.
Oh no, that was going so well. I don't think there was any contact there. So,
that didn't look good. Oh, that was a bit scary there. Oh, and that's wing damage. Joel has wing damage. So that might have been a bit too much of a move there through those winding corners.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for Joel. He was actually having a really good race up until that point. Having said that, we've seen a safety car already so far. It would not surprise me if we see another.
Right. I think the only car that's really fighting here right now is McKender, who's trying to catch up to Crystal for P3. These podium positions are still definitely fighting. Not everything has been decided yet, as McKender is 7/10 behind Crystal.
Yep, and we see another speeding penalty, this time for Joel. I don't know if that's going to be a retirement maybe? It's actually hard to say now. There's been a lot of speeding penalties for speeding into the pit lane. Which is
yes, and Tipsy
really
Bob
avoidable.
especially. Tipsy Bob in P5 has 10 seconds still of penalties,
wow.
which means he's not actually in the top 8 right now, I believe. It's kind of close, but I don't think it's 10 seconds down to P8. I think it's more. I think the penalty is going to cost him more time than that.
Yep, we see Joel retiring there from the session after his excursion earlier on. So I'm just watching Crystals at the minute. He's actually just put in a fastest sector 2, so he's really starting to charge to try and get caught back up with these front guys.
At the same time, of course, McKender is also catching up to Crystal, so we're gonna be seeing a big battle here if Crystal keeps catching Dragon.
Yep, I certainly think so. These top 4 are bound to close up here. Oh, loads of fastest laps coming in as they cross the line. Of course, that'll be their first proper dry lap that they've been on now.
Yeah,
with
McKender
DRS,
takes
of
the
course.
fastest lap for now and catches. Well, it gets even closer to Crystal here. It's now 5/10 of a difference.
Yeah, quite spread out just now. Looking like we are going to see the front runners closing up to one another towards the end of this race. There's still plenty of action to go as well, of course. Quite a long, winding track, very demanding, requires a lot of your focus, and it's so easy just to get something wrong here.
Talking about catching up, I believe a lot of cars here are actually catching up to Tipsy Bob, so he's gonna have to fight very hard to keep points position here with the 10-second time penalty.
Yeah, you're right. Those gaps are slowly coming down as the laps tick by. Yeah, battle for 3rd and 4th is still raging on between Crystals and McKender. It's currently Crystals has got the advantage as things stand.
And Crystal also seems to be getting better exits out of this last corner, which doesn't make it easy for McKender to close up and make the overtake happen. Even
And
with
there's the fastest lap as well from Crystals.
Yeah, those two are pushing towards the front right now. They still want to fight for P1 and 2.
As you see, there's another gap starting to close further down the grid there. Who's that? That is Zod and Larson, who are getting very, very close now, just coming around the first corner.
Yeah, I think Larson has been catching up here for a few laps now, and I believe he'll want to make a move on the start-finish straight if he can line it up.
Of course, he'll be able to use the second DRS straight on the way back down towards the start to close that gap, and then, yeah, like you say, use the main DRS straight to then get the pass done. Just looking further up, Crystals is still, he's very slowly closing that gap still. It's not coming down particularly quickly, so I'm not sure if he's going to run out of laps here to get caught up. He's certainly given it his best shot.
McKender, of course, is on slightly older tires here than the cars around him because he put it right at the start of the safety car.
Just looking back further down, Larson is still behind Zod there and closing that gap. He's within DRS range now. Of course, DRS is now wide open as we're going down the start-finish straight. Don't think he's close enough to make a pass just yet. No, but he's going to commit to another lap before he does anything.
Yeah, I think it's very important on this track to make sure you line up your moves perfectly and don't just go for a move somewhere around the track. Because not only is it easy to crash your car into another one on this narrow track, but also it's really easy to mess up a move and have the other car gain that second back on you and you lose the DRS. So you definitely want to stay behind for a bit and then make sure you can overtake the other car.
Yeah, that's exactly it. A bit of strategy and a bit of patience required. There is another gap getting quite close further down. Now it's Janis Correas on the back of Bajan.
Oh yes, that looks very close here.
Getting a little bit spicy there now as well. A lot of penalties further down the back of the grid. Most of them are from pit lane speeding.
I'm going to show the penalties for a second. Yes, so all of the penalties except for Bejar are 5-second penalties. Well, Tipsy of course has 2 of them, and Bejar has 3 seconds of penalties. Oh, and now we see a move. We can't really see much here. And he makes the move stick. Yeah, Giannis Correas took the outside line there and couldn't defend it. No way, it's the other way around. Bejar didn't. Giannis Correas just got past Bejar, basically. As Larson is still very close here. McKender also catching up still.
Difficult track to pass on, of course. This one, there's a lot of corners, so you're constantly twisting and turning. You never really get a chance to try and settle down into a straight.
And Crystal is now within 1.5 seconds of Dragon in front. So
oh, wow,
that
so yeah,
that might be a 3-headed battle there soon.
Yeah, definitely. That gap is that's very much coming down. We're a little over 5 laps to go now. It looks like he probably will get within DRS range within a lap or 2 now. So I think we're going to see a last-minute sprint to the finish here between second, third, and fourth. I would imagine at this stage it's probably Pretorius' race to lose. He's
and
built
Pretorius
quite a good gap.
Takes the fastest lap here.
Oh, before McKender takes it straight back again. This is brilliant.
Larson and Zod are now heading down the start-finish straight, but I don't think Larson has the overspeed that he needs to overtake Zod here.
No, that gap seems to close down all the time, but he seems to just lose it somewhere in the in these twisty areas, and Zod manages to just stretch that gap out again.
I also think these F2 cars make it even harder to overtake, because you can't just save up the ERS forever and make that one big move. It's hard to get past other cars, even on the straights.
That's it. You're purely relying on exit speed in order to try and get the pass. Oh, there's a yellow flag in the first sector there. Who's that? That's Max Spiltz that's gone around just after that awkward cambered left-hand hairpin there, and he's going to lose a place to his teammate Nico Rosba, I think, here. Yep. Oh, and there's another yellow flag in the beginning of sector 2.
I think that might be George.
That is George, yep. And he's spun again. Oh, he's cooked his tires. He's struggling now.
McKender's still not quite close enough to make a move here. Crystal now within 1.2 seconds of Dragon. Meanwhile, Larson and Zod still heading down the start-finish straight in the same order.
Crystal's under some immense pressure here from McKender, so...
oh, but
yep.
Larson... No, okay, it's not as close as I thought.
Oh, McKender is so close to the back of Crystals. He's on 2-lap older mediums, but he's managing to hang in there so well. We see another yellow flag in the first sector there on the first corner. I think that could be Gerla, possibly.
It looks like it was Gerla, yeah. He lost a lot of time there. Janis Correas now also takes a 3-second time penalty. Further down the grid. McKender's getting really close to Crystal here.
Yeah, but if he gets a good run out of these last couple of corners, he might be on for a pass coming down the start-finish straight now.
Crystal, of course, still doesn't have the DRS. Still not close enough to Dragon, as Dragon is now actually trying to pull away from...
Oh, McKender did get a good exit on that corner, but he's just Oh, he's so close, but just not close enough.
He's
Oh,
looking at the inside. Ah, it's not quite enough to make a move though. Not quite enough speed
he
here.
wanted to. You could see he was very much thinking about it. Of course, this battle's now slowing the pair of them down and trying to catch up with Dragon. So that gap. Not. Oh, there's a spin.
Oh!
Oh no, it's Crystals.
That is Crystal, but he goes.
Oh no.
Oh, I think that's wing damage.
Yep. I think it is. That's an end plate. Ah,
Yeah.
that's so unfortunate. He was going so well.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna hurt a lot, but we might actually see him stay out here till the end because we don't know whether it's too much damage here to drive this winding track, of course. But Tipsy Bob behind him has a 10-second time penalty, and then it's another 3 seconds down to Niebuhr. So maybe Crystal might just stay out and try to get that, probably P8 even, for the sprint race pole.
Well, so he only needs to hang in there for another 2 laps, and then he's through. So yeah, you have to wonder if it's worth just staying out for this one.
We do see Tipsy Bob already having gained, I think 2 or 3 seconds though. Oh, now Larson is extremely close to Zod. Let's see if he gets a good run out of this final corner here. It looks like a good run.
Crystals does indeed stay out, so he's gonna continue
Now Larson
on.
is right behind Zod. He's going to the outside. Zod is trying to defend the inside here. We'll see how it looks in turn 1. Larson goes pretty wide here. Definitely a wide line, but Zod is now behind Larson. Yes, Larson has made the move stick. And now he's gonna try to get a bit of a gap until the next DRS straight comes.
Yep, round the outside of the first set of corners there. That was a brilliant move from Larson. Really, really brave on the brakes and made it stick. Great racing from the pair of them as well.
Meanwhile, Tipsy Bob is now right behind Crystal. That's not gonna be a hard move to make for him, but it's still another just over 8 seconds down to Larson, so about 9 seconds down to Zod. I think Crystal might actually have a good position here to keep for the sprint race.
Yeah, he's managed to get himself. Yeah, he has in fact. You're right. Yeah.
So that's maybe a bit of luck within an unlucky situation here.
Think
that
so,
he can
yeah,
at least get a good starting position for the sprint race.
Yeah, that's definitely going to play into his hands.
I'll also take a quick look at the 10-second time penalty for Tipsy.
Oh, there's a position change further. Oh, of course, yeah, that's Crystal's losing out now to Neber. He's just managed to get past there on the first corner. So he's still hanging on. He only has to hang on for this 1 lap now.
Oh, Tipsy Bob
And
might
he's,
also be in a good position for the sprint race, because Tipsy Bob with the 10-second time penalty is going to drop down to P8 as well. So it's probably going to be between Crystal and Tipsy Bob, whoever goes slower here until the finish.
Yeah, Crystals, of course, just needs to hang in for this lap now. He's got a 5-second gap between himself and Larson. That gap is decreasing rapidly. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Does Tipsy Bob also have damage? He seems to be going a bit slower now compared to
He does, you're right. He does. The right end plate is missing from his front wing. So, completely missed where he picked that damage up from. But yes, he's in the same position now, yeah.
Oh, now Pretorius takes P1 in the feature race. That's gonna be great for him. I think that was from start to finish pretty easily in this race. Didn't keep the lead, of course, under the safety car, but got back that first position after the other pit stops came in. Tipsy Bob comes home P4, Niebuhr in P5, and Tipsy Bob is now going to drop down a few positions due to his 10-second time penalty. Crystal actually takes P5.
So he managed to hold.
Yeah, he definitely managed
managed
to hold on pretty well there.
Yeah, Larson drops. Larson and Zod are in opposite positions to one another.
Oh, I'm actually not sure how that.
I'm
It
not
looks
sure
like
if that was
Larson
a
might have had a
process of
3-second
penalties.
penalty. Yeah, it looks like Larson might have gotten a 3-second penalty there at the end.
Oh, and Futuristic has a 5-second time penalty applied to him for
That's
not
not going to make
serving
any
his
position
penalty.
changes, though. Yes, he'll stay in P10 and get that last point here.
Yep. Same
As
story
Nico
for Nico
Rosberg,
Rosberg
yes.
as well. Yep. think there's going to be a couple more actually, possibly looking at the back of the field there as they finish off this race. That'll be Janis Correas comes over in 14th position, and then we'll see
Oh, and
Bojan,
that's
who's all over the
there
place.
at the end.
Some showboating across the finish line there.
All right, and that's the sprint, the feature race over. Very much action here, especially with the safety car and the weather change. We're of course now going to be looking towards the sprint race, whether we are also going to see some rain here.
So the game giving Mikendo driver of the day for that first race.
Alright, so just to recap, the top two stayed the same. Pretorius in front of Dragon for P1 and 2. Then we have Mikender coming up from P12 on the grid, definitely helped by that safety car and the early pit stop. That was a bit of a gamble there, that paid off for sure. Behind them we have Nieber, Crystal, Zod, Tipsy Bob, Larson, Gorla and Futuristic in the points positions.
Yeah, so an eventful opening race there, as you say. So looking forward to seeing how the next race is going to go. Looking forward to see what the weather's going to be as well, actually. I wonder if we're going to have a dry race then for the next one.
Of course, pole for the sprint race is going to go to Larson now, who lost positions right before the finish, I believe. Maybe due to a penalty that we didn't see. But it doesn't look like he has a penalty. Maybe there's also a bug here, I'm not sure. Maybe we just missed something. Of course, Larson being P1 on the grid now, in front of Tipsy Bob and Zod.
Oh, we'll get our breath back as we load into the next race now. Looks like it's going to be dry, so sun is shining currently. Kebab saying in chat, Crystal's spun. I don't believe it. Poor Crystals gets a lot of flack for his spins now and again.
So I don't think it was fully his own fault there. I believe he was at least fighting another car.
That's it. There's a lot of pressure in that move. So yeah, I mean they did well not to touch each other. So yeah, some good clean racing.
Alright, we're now loading into the sprint race. Alright, so as we said, Larson from P8 now and P1 for the starting grid. Leading from Tipsy Bob, Zod, Crystal, Nieber, Mikender, Dragon and Pretorius, who won the feature race. It's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out, because we also have some faster drivers towards the back that weren't helped much by the safety car. So maybe we can see some other cars driving towards the front as well. Maybe also Joel and Nicolaitis, who were having a pretty good start into the race.
Somebody at the back there spun over. That's George, has managed to spin out on the first corner already.
Ah, yes, I see it now.
Yeah, but he turns himself around and gets back underway.
Yeah,
so,
the game was just showing me the scenic looks over the racetrack instead of the cars.
That's a nice view, to be fair. Oh, and there's another one. That's his teammate. That's Janis Correas has also spun.
Didn't he do the same thing in the first race as well?
That's because it's dry, guys. Come on.
I think they might not be used to the dry conditions anymore. I think the feature race wasn't long enough there.
To be fair, a lot of cold tyres and these cars are quite tricky to drive, I find, compared to the F1 cars. So.
Oh, and Trevelyan's disqualified.
Yep, I wonder how he's managed that. He's not. I'm going to guess he's not hit anyone. Normally, when you hit somebody, the person you hit is disqualified as well. But
yeah.
We'll see. So it's in Larson's best interest to slow down even more right now, because he's going to be waiting for quite some time. Although not as long as Trevor Linden, who's already sat there waiting for the rest of them to come round. So Dragon in chat is predicting Pretorius to win.
Which is interesting, given that Dragon is right in front of him.
Yep.
Alright, we're now heading to the grid here. The cars towards the back. Do we still have somebody? Yeah, we have Janice Correa still going towards the start-finish straight here. Gonna be a bit more time for the cars in front to have their tires cool down.
I think we're in position now and ready to go.
Yes, we are. And it's 1 light, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the lights are out. We're starting. That's a very good start by Tipsy Bob, I believe. They look very strong, and we're not seeing anything on this camera. Yeah, we still have Larson in P1, but Tipsy Bob definitely challenging here. Trying to get past for that P1.
There's touches in the first corner there. I'm not quite sure who that was between. There was like 3 or 4 wide into the first corner, and bits of carbon fibre flying off already. Oh, as we see yellow flag already. That's Pretorius is at the back of the grid. That can't be right.
I think the timing screen is still not quite showing us the right positions because I do believe I see
we've got
Pretorius
VSC.
here. Oh, VSC, all right. Maybe that gives us enough time to get everything sorted out. It does still look like Larson leading from Tipsy Bob, so nothing changed here. It looks like Dragon made up some positions, at least if I'm reading this right. It looks like Dragon might be in P3.
Who spun out of the back there? That was Futuristic and Max Spiltz who had an incident there at the very start. That's what it was.
Yeah, there's
everybody bunching up now.
Okay, so we finally see the actual standings. We see Larson in front of Tipsy Bob, Dragon, and Crystal. Right after this.
Trying to see who got the. Looks like it was Janice Correas that picked up damage in the first corner there. He's missing an end plate from his front wing. Just trying to see if anybody else has got damage because there's a few bits of contact there.
I think Zod might have had an incident at the start there. Everybody's on the medium tires, of course. I'm going to show the position changes for now because I think they're the interesting thing to watch. We have Dragon right behind Tipsy Bob, maybe trying to get that P2 here.
And Zod has wing damage as well. So Zod and Correas both with front wing damage there. So I'm going to assume they will both be pitting, and they do.
Dragon getting really close to the back of Tipsy Bob
here. And a speeding penalty again for Zod.
We're seeing a lot of these speeding penalties today. I think people are not quite used to the... Oh, that's
Pretorius has damage.
Oh, Dragon hits the back of Tipsy Bob. That's a spin for Dragon, and I think Tipsy Bob's front wing is broken now. That's going to be horrible for the two of those because there's only 10 laps more to make up these positions.
So Tipsy Bob is now fighting with Pretorius, and both of them have got wing damage. This is getting very bunched up now. There's
everybody seems to have wing damage here. They're still fighting everybody else. Does McKender also have wing damage? Yeah, McKender also got wing damage somewhere. So all these cars at the front have wing damage now.
So they're fighting each other and holding everybody else up behind them.
Yeah, Larson has definitely got a comfortable lead here right now. Crystal and Niebuhr behind are currently fighting for, I believe it's P2. Zod is showing up at the front of the grid, but that's not quite correct. But behind them, everybody seems to have wing damage. And so George now goes really wide. I think he hit the wall as well.
Okay, so away with it though. It doesn't look like he has any damage at all from that one.
Yeah, I think Tipsy Bob pitting from P7 here is definitely a good idea. I don't think he would have been able to hang on to those 2 positions for the last points position until the end of the race. We're going to take a quick look at the tires now. Tipsy Bob and Futuristic going on to the soft tires.
So Crystals has had a really good start to this race, and
we're seeing some really close battles here towards the back. Dragon is fighting to get these positions back right now, but Joel is definitely also moving up positions. I think Joel got a pretty good start here, and now he's just moving past these cars who have wing damage or other problems at the front. Definitely making use of other people's incidents here.
Absolutely, best way to be, just stay consistent and try and benefit from other people's mistakes. Although he's now under pressure from, I think that's Dragon that he's fighting with. Oh, they're getting very, very close. You've got Joel, Dragon and Nico Rosberg now, all very close to each other coming around the penultimate corner here.
I am extremely scared for their front wings.
Oh, Dragon's coming down, he's sending it down the
Ooh.
inside of Joel in the last corner. That was actually a really good move.
And now he also
makes it stick.
has the DRS, of course, despite being in front, because at the detection point he was behind still. So I think that. Oh, and that's a big lockup.
Yep.
Also further out in front, we see Pretori still pressuring Mekender. Both of these, of course, have wing damage. I think Gorla behind them doesn't have any damage, so he might be looking to stay really close to those two.
So I guess
Nico Rosspot is going side by side with Joel here.
I wonder if they will pit for their wing damage. I assume they're just going to push on and try and pit at a point which would be sensible to do a tyre change, perhaps.
Pretorius still seems to be doing really well on these tyres. Mekender is struggling a bit more, I believe. But Pretorius definitely putting the pressure on Mekender here and getting the DRS now.
And Girl is getting ever closer, who of course now also has DRS picked up from Pretorius. So Girl is going to get involved in this battle at any minute now and looks to be able to probably pick up 2 positions here. I wonder if he's aware that the 2 in front of him have got damage.
Janice Correa's further down the back, moves past Bejar now.
Pretorius looks like he's got a really good run out of the last corner. He's now got DRS
strong.
on Mekender. He's diving to the inside. Mekender's trying to hold him off. I
Ooh,
think
that's
they're side by
contact
side.
there. Ah, that looked like contact, I believe. And Pretorius just taking that inside line. Mekender can't quite hang on to the outside with that wing damage. Staying close, but Gorla is now also trying to get a bit closer to those two. And that's a lockup for Mekender.
Well done to the 2 of them to be able to race as hard as they are with damaged cars still, but not you know, take each other out.
Dragon is still moving up positions. And Dragon is going around the outside of these twisting turns here. That's an interesting one. Yeah, they're going just side by side through all of these corners. Dragon trying to trip George up here. Maybe trying to force a mistake as well.
He is pushing very hard indeed at the minute. Yeah, strange lines as you say, very wide. Of course, he's right behind George now on this DRS straight. Sorry,
yeah,
Dragon is
very
right behind
good
George
driving by Dragon. Tries to take the inside, not quite fast enough here, but looking towards the next straight, of course.
Because if you can keep the gap, that's it. Yeah, if you can keep the gap as small as it is now, then he looks to be in a brilliant position for the DRS straight coming up. Oh, and there's a yellow flag just at the bottom of the second DRS straight there.
And Janice Correas apparently also as well. I think there might have been an incident with both of them. As now Dragon moves past George. And I think he's making the move stick. George going for the switchback though. It's not over yet. But Dragon keeps the position. Further up, we still have Gorla within a second of Mekender, but Mekender is hanging on to Pretorius here with the DRS. As further up the grid, P1, 2, and 3 are also all within 1 second. Well, 1 second each. We have Crystal only 0.8 behind Larson, and then Neva right behind those two. So we might still be seeing moves for the race lead here.
Definitely, I think things are going to get very spicy now towards this stint of the race. Just trying to keep an eye on this Pretorius, Mekender and Gerla battle. Gerla is still managing to close that gap down. He's right behind Mekender now.
Larson is doing a really good job keeping these other 2 cars behind though, getting a good run out of the last corner while the other 2 are just locking up, struggling a bit right now. Larson definitely wants to keep this lead for just 6 more laps now.
I must say I'm really impressed with this driving from Pretorius and Mekender. Like I say, wing damage like that and still able to push hard enough to hold position. Really good stuff. Just keeping an eye on these 2 packs then.
Nico Rosspot is now making a move on Joel. They're extremely close to each other through this middle sector. Or the end of the first sector. With these 2 F2 cars, we're seeing a lot of close driving through this winding section here, through these fast turns. They like to go side by side here. Definitely very interesting to watch.
Absolutely. I think just in general, there seems to be a lot of action in these F2 races. It's like the cars are quite able to follow one another quite closely, and it leads to some really good overtakes, some good moves.
Crystal got a pretty good run here out of the last corner, and will be gaining on Larson on the straight now, but it's not quite enough to make a move in turn 1.
He's now right behind him though. He's going to be able to put so much pressure on Larson throughout this lap.
Meanwhile, Gorla has lost the DRS on McKender, I believe.
Oh, and there's a position change further down. That's Rosbot and Joel are fighting. They're side by side around the first corner here. Looks like Joel's just slipped back a touch again. They're still side by side coming into the slight right hand kink there and into the left hand hairpin.
Joel takes the position back and keeps it for now.
The Rosbot's managed to get a really good exit though, and he's closing up on him again down this this back straight. He looks like he wants to have a go. Oh,
trying
so
to take
close,
that inside line, but Joel closes the door. Very good defensive driving here from Joel, but Nico Rosbot is still trying to get past, still pushing.
It doesn't look like it's over yet either. Still 0.1 of a second between one as they come round into this DRS straight now. Oh, and looks like Rosbot looked like he was going to try and throw it down the inside just before the DRS straight there.
We've seen that work for the start-finish straight, of course. Just yeeting it down the inside right after the detection point, and you will take the position and also get the DRS for the straight. Now Crystal still getting really close to Larson here, but Niebuhr is also within less than half a second now.
Oh, Nico's got a really good exit on that last corner. DRS is wide open, and the gap is absolutely closing as we see them coming side by side down the start-finish straight now. Rosbot's on the outside. Joel is still there and looks to try and come back on him.
But yeah, Nico Rosbot closed the door there just enough to not let Joel take a better line through that corner. Didn't want to have him on the inside, and Nico Rosbot takes the position for now.
Yep, that was a really good pass, that. Really well done.
Oh! Crystal spins! Almost! That is not quite a spin, but a very big moment of oversteer there. As now Niebuhr takes P2 pretty easily, and Niebuhr is now going to be chasing after Larson, but without the DRS, of course. Yeah, that was a big moment for Crystal. Almost spun the car, just about saved it, and stays in P3 now.
Doesn't look like he has any damage or anything on his car. However, his tyres, of course, are not going to be thanking him right now. They're going to be a little hotter than what he'd like.
Meanwhile, we still have Gorla hanging onto the back of McKender here. McKender doesn't have the DRS off Pretorius anymore, but Gorla still hasn't managed to get past McKender here, and Dragon is now catching up from behind.
Oh, and Zod retires.
Futuristic gets the 3-second time penalty as well.
I don't actually understand why Zod retires, but Zod retires all the same.
I think McKender's tires are starting to look really bad with the wing damage now. I think there's been a lot of lockups ever since he got that wing damage, and those tires can't be too happy about that.
Of course, with Gerla being stuck behind McKender for so long, that's allowed Dragon to now really close the gap, and he's now right behind Gerla as well. So pressure on Gerla to try and make this move on McKender, because he's coming under a lot of pressure himself from Dragon now.
And of course that's going to lose him more time onto McKender.
And Dragon's just set a purple first sector as well.
Yeah, look at Dragon taking these outside lines through these corners. He's definitely trying to take some different lines to make moves happen on the straights. Very interesting to watch.
Gap is just 0.2 of a second right now as they come into this kink into the left-hand hairpin. All three of them very close to one another now, so McKender, Gerla and Dragon.
Yeah, I think this is going to come down to whoever gets a good exit out of here.
Absolutely.
It looks like Dragon has a very good exit here.
Yep, that gap is already shrinking before they even get to the DRS line.
And now they're both getting the slipstream. Ooh, Dragon takes the outside line again. He knows that Gorla's going to be caught up behind McKender. Yeah, very close racing here.
Doesn't make the move on that occasion, but it's still right there, ready to go again. It's all three of them locking up into that hairpin.
At the front now, Niebuhr is back within the DRS window of Larson, so we still might see a move here in the last 2 laps. Dragon is so close to Gola
Dragon
here.
is, yeah, and Girl is just locking up occasionally now as well, which is really not helping him. He's losing precious time. We see another big lock up from McKender there as well. All 3 of them now.
Oh, very big lock up
DRS
again.
straight.
And
Everybody
oh, that's
is on
close.
everyone on 10 lap old mediums, of course, at this point, with the exception of Tipsy Bob and Futuristic, who are on softs. Oh, bumping over the curbs there. That's a warning, surely.
Ooh, Dragon's tires are now giving up. I think that might be due to following these other 2 cars for so long. The tires aren't going to be happy about that. They're going to be a bit hotter than usual. And that's going to give Gola a bit of breathing space here. Gola is trying to stay close to McKender, getting that slipstream, while Dragon is a bit further behind this time. But Gola goes very wide here in turn 1, and that allows Dragon to catch back up.
So constant pressure then between all 3 of these guys, trying to defend and attack all at the same time.
Meanwhile, Niebuhr is within 7 tenths now of Larson, getting closer and closer. I think that was 3.5 tenths just in half a lap there.
But it's amazing how quickly the race time just gets away from you. We're on the 2nd last lap already.
And so much action, yeah, throughout the whole race. We have Tipsy Bob on the softs making a move on Nicolaitis further down the grid. And he's going to be really close to BJRN.
So yeah, McKenna doing a really good job of holding both Gerla and Dragon off towards the end of the race here. Of course, still carrying that front wing damage that he and Pretorius both got within the opening stages of this race. Oh, and there's a bit of a wiggle there from Dragon as they come off the that hairpin now into the double right-hander.
Yeah, I think Dragon's struggling with this with his rear tires.
And Georgia spun.
Yes. Dragon extremely close to Gorla here again. But we we see a move by Gorla. Gorla takes the inside line. Yeah, finally close enough to make a move on McKender.
Oh, but he's on the slower inside now. Does he make it stick? It looks like McKender.
Oh, that's a bit of contact there. McKender still on the inside. Dragon trying to go around the outside of McKender now. Gorla keeps the position for now. Dragon takes position 6 from McKender, and McKender is now finally behind those 2 others. But definitely a brilliant drive to hang on to that position for so long with that wing damage.
It's not over yet. Dragon is still pushing Gorla around this track. So
and it's the last
Gorla
lap,
makes the move, but he's still
really
under pressure. Yep. In the meantime, the Hammer is now within half a second of Larson. Coming down the
and that's a move by Dragon. Dragon heavily outbrakes Gorla here. And Dragon takes that place. Now who has the DRS? Gorla did get it. Okay, so Gorla is going to be using that DRS to defend from McKender. That's contact there! McKender almost spins. Ooh, that was a bit of a close one there. That could have ended up a lot worse.
Jump to the front as Larson comes over the start-finish line now to claim victory in this race. Never comes in a close second, and Crystal's in 3rd.
And Pretorius coming from P8 to P4 here after the feature race victory. Dragon taking P5 in front of Gorla and McKender, and now behind them Nico Rosspot and Joel are still fighting here. And it's going to be really close, but Joel keeps the position by just half a tenth at the end. Very close racing. Definitely. Very interesting race to watch.
Yep. A thoroughly enjoyable one. Some really tight moments there as well. Almost 3 abreast in quite a few of the corners towards the closing stages there as Tipsy Bob picks up 13th position. And we see Bijan and Nicolaitis crossing the line to take up 14th and 15th. And we just wait for Futuristic to finish his race. He'll be finishing in 16th. So 2 DNFs in this race, Sod and Curious. We had 2 DNFs in the first race as well, I believe. So whoever in chat predicted 2 DNFs, you've got it right on both times.
Alright, and that's our sprint race over as well. Very fun to watch today. Definitely with the rain, especially in the feature race. And then very close racing in the sprint race, even with that wing damage.
So, how do we call driver of day on that then?
Oh, that's gonna be a tough one.
That's that's not a fun job. There's so many people in contention.
Honestly, I think we might have to give it to Pretorius here. It was a very brilliant drive in the feature race, easily keeping P1 from start to finish, keeping that position even through the pit stops of other people who were gambling on the dry tires. And now in the sprint race, even though he had wing damage, hangs on to P4 for so long and even gets the fastest lap as well in both races, I believe. I think
I can't argue with that. So yeah, I think I'd have to agree. That's
actually,
really
fastest lap here goes to Dragon. It's showing it wrong here, but definitely still very good race by Pretorius. I think we'll have to give driver of the day to him for that incredible performance with the wing damage, hanging on to P4. Yeah, very good race. All right, we'll then move on to the interviews. Any drivers who want to get interviewed, feel free to move to the interview channel and we'll pull you in.
See if we have any takers yet. Oh, we have loads of people to choose from today.
Oh yeah, that's a big group there.
Okay, well, let's start at the top then, shall we? And pull Futuristic in.
Yes.
Futuristic, how's it going? So pretty crazy racing there. The both races are quite full of action. A bit messy, I think, for you, and I believe it was the second race there. I think you had a spin of some sort which put you fairly far down. Very much a bit of a recovery drive from you there. How was that from your end?
I got front wing damage because of turn 1 pileup and yeah.
So who did you see how that started at all? I know things were quite crazy, and I think we actually missed a wee bit of it because there was just, like you say, a bit of a pile up and carbon fiber and whatnot everywhere. But it was difficult to see how that all started.
I don't even know. I think I saw their hammer on the apex, but I doubt it was him who caused the pileup, and everyone just hit the back of the car in front.
So like just a concertino then into the first corner.
Yep.
How was the rain in the feature race for you? It was rainy at the start, of course, and then you pitted on your safety car. How did you feel driving in the rain, and did you gain anything from that safety car there?
Nope.
All right.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, we saw a few cars gaining a bit there. I think you made a pretty good recovery drive towards the end, though, in the feature race, because you did move up quite a bit, and I believe you even got points at the end.
Yeah, somehow.
All right. Yeah, wonderful
But
drive.
still, better to leave away with something though than nothing at all. So it was a good race to watch, but yeah, clearly a frustrating race to be involved in, I would assume. Right, we shall let you go then. Thanks for the race. Thanks for entertaining us, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Yep. See you.
So, a man of few words. I think we will pull in Gerla next. I think he needs to rush off, so we'll get him in before he has to go. Gerla, hello. Yeah, interesting race. Lots of action going on there. Really close racing towards the end of the second race there between yourself and Dragon and McKender as you're trying to chase McKender down. Did you realize that he had front wing damage at all at that point?
Yeah, I knew he had front wing damage from the start. I think he collided lap 1 or lap 2, and he was still like a little bit faster than me. So only when Pretorius got him out of his DRS, I started catching, and I was only able to make an overtake into the last lap. But then Dragon caught me up, and Dragon was so quick as well, so I ended up being in the same position. But yeah, it was a great fight. I enjoyed it. I'm sweating, and it's great that I managed to get points in both races. So it's really nice.
Yeah, it definitely
really,
looked like a very stressful race to drive in. Some very interesting moments there for sure. Especially with the battle in the sprint race, but also in the feature race. Looked really interesting when the other cars went into the pits. I assume you were staying out because you wanted to avoid the double stack.
Yeah. So we were on voice chat, and I told Crystals to go first because even though he was behind me, he's faster. So I told him, you pit now, and I'll pit next. But now I see that maybe we should have double stacked because I lost a lot of time then. And if we double stacked, I think I wouldn't have lost that much time. So I think I would be better if we double stacked. But anyway, I still got some points, so it's good.
yeah, we did wonder that while we were watching the race whether that was a deliberate way to avoid the double stack, and then as you say, as soon as we saw that and with the safety car being out, we thought, well, actually, maybe it would have been better to get the double stack in there instead under the safety car. But yeah, like you say, really, really strong performance, and still managing to pick up points in both races. That was a really good drive in some very tricky conditions at the start there. I think we're off to Silverstone next week. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. It should be good. At least we should have more fights than we had in this race. Even though I had a great fight in the last lap, I think Silverstone will be better. I didn't have that many fights, like for example, like Bahrain, where there were fights all over. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I'm looking forward to it.
a tricky track, of course, this one to do any passes of that on. But yeah, no, we're looking forward to it too. So yeah, I'll let you go again. I'll put you back into the interview lounge.
Yep.
Thanks for coming in, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
All right. Who shall we pull in next?
Let's grab Joel next.
Yep, sure.
Stick.
Hello, Joel. Welcome to the commentary booth. So, yeah, a challenging few races there from the look of it. I think in the first one you had a spin or some kind of contact or something. It looked like it was going really well up until that point, and then a little bit of a recovery drive required from you. And then in the second race, yeah, you were involved in quite a lot of action and actually made your way back up to a really good finishing position, if I remember right, from the towards the back end of the grid. So yeah, how was that from you?
Yeah, I just did like 2 time trial laps before the race, and then came in again. And when I saw it was raining, I was like, yes! And I was laughing my head off in the formation lap because like 5 people span at the same corner, all around me on the formation lap. And there were already like 3 people as I came around the corner at turn 10 in the wall, and then everyone behind me just like went past me and then span. Anyway, yeah, it was all right. The first race was good. I think I had an incident with Tipsy. I might have wasn't his fault, so I need to look at what I did wrong there. But we were going up side by side up the hill into the fast right-hander, and I think I didn't leave him enough space to turn in, so I went into the wall and got damage. Retired in the pit lane because it's like a 40-second pit stop or something ridiculous with wind damage. So started P17 for the next race, got up to P9 in the first lap, and then the rest of it was just fighting with George and Nico Rosbot with the photo finish at the end. I kept P8. I thought I was going to lose it then.
Yeah, that was a very good finish to watch there. We actually caught that on camera. Very good job keeping that position at the end there. Definitely looked like some really close racing. Can you tell us anything about the start? Because we did see that there was some kind of incidents there, but we didn't actually manage to catch any of it on the stream, so we don't quite know what happened there. Did you see anything?
Race 1 or 2?
In the sprint race, the race 2.
Okay, so into turn 1, there wasn't really any. Well, there probably was contact because a couple of the top 3, 4 even got damage. No one was off as I came around though, but going into turn 3, I think it is, before the left-hander on up the hill, Max and someone else had a collision, so I had to avoid that. That's all I saw. Apart from actually Dragon, I think on lap 3, going up the hill as well, he went into a brake marker board and got pushed off the track or something, it looked like. So I narrowly missed him.
All right, yeah, very good
That's all
job.
I saw.
Yeah, very good job keeping away from these incidents. Definitely gained you a lot of positions there, and very consistent drive to hang on to the points there at the end.
Yeah, I need to learn how to drive like that in F1 now.
No, it's a great race to watch, and yeah, certainly lots of action, lots of entertainment provided by everybody. So, and to be fair, in the grand scheme of things, okay, there was a bit of bumping and stuff here and there, but generally speaking, very clean racing, very clean overtaking. I think even that incident with yourself and Tipsy Bob, I mean, I think we caught that on stream at the time, but it didn't look like there was much, if any, in the way of contact. It was really hard to tell. So
Yeah.
it's
just when you're going like 200 kilometers per hour up a turn flat out, and you're going side by side, and you get the slightest miss bit of steering input, and you go into someone, you're gonna spin around like a pendulum. So you can't really do anything about that.
Easily done, but yeah, a really, really good recovery drive in the second race. So yeah, congratulations for that.
Thanks.
Right, so I'll move you back anyway, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right,
see you later.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so we have Neber, the Hammer, and Pretorius. Who should we speak to first?
I think let's grab Neighbor the Hammer first, and then take Pretorius for the grand finish.
Sure, that sounds like a plan. So, Hammer.
Hello.
What a race that was. The second one especially there. You were fighting at the top 3 all the way around there. How was that for you?
Yeah, I jumped in with like 6 laps TT practice, which was where my first lap in an F2 car on this game. So yeah, it was quite a wild ride. I don't know if I caught it on stream, but in the first race I actually span in the safety car.
Yeah, there was a lot of. It was actually kind of hard to track what was going on in the first race because we had so many spins already just on the formation lap, and then like you say, safety car was out and people were still spinning everywhere. It wasn't until the track properly dried up that everybody calmed down a bit.
Yeah, these cars are really different to drive in the wet compared to the F1 cars. Like even way harder, at least for me. But I don't know how it is for everyone. But yeah, it was wild, and then. Yeah, the sprint race, I have to think back. Like in the beginning, I think there was a lagged car in front, which caused a bit of mayhem, which was Zod, I think. And he wowed back. I went into him, but I had no damage. But the guys behind me, like especially McKender and Prey, they went into me, and they both had wing damage. So then that's how Larson, Crystals, and me got away.
I did wonder that when we were watching that, because I think we must have missed the damage that Pretorius and McKender picked up there. We just suddenly saw them with no wings very early on, and then having to carry that damage to the end of the race as well. But yeah, how's the first race for you then? The feature race. We did see not any sort of. There wasn't any obvious contact at the very, very beginning there, but there was, as everyone piled into the first corner, there was bits of carbon fiber rolling around the track already, but it's very hard to tell how that all started. Did you see any of that?
The future race, that was the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I started P3. I didn't have the best of start. And then I think I avoided one wreck. And then, people were passing me left and right. But in the end, I got through it fine and in a good position. And then I think it was when the rain stopped. I wasn't P4 for a long time, if I remember. P4 or P3. And then when the rain stopped and we pitted for new tires, that's when I either just before or just after I span in the in the safety car, because it was like a drying track, and I was trying to catch up because the safety car was just out. Yeah, it was after I pitted, when I pitted to mediums. And then I span, so I dropped back. But then other people died, and I somehow got back to P4. So it was a real a wild ride.
Yeah, it sounds
up
it.
and down. Yeah,
it was great entertainment for watching, though.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're in the.
I figured like I need to start pulling some weights or something because the force feedback on these cars is really a lot more than the F1 cars, and I'm kind of feeling it now.
So good workout as well then.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're in Silverstone next week. Can we expect to see you there? Because you're a reserve driver for tonight, right?
Yeah, normally it will conflict with my Assetto Corsa F1 league, F1 hybrid mod league, which I normally run on Saturday, but I skipped this week, so I could have. So then I figured later, I can just as well drive here. So normally I won't be there. It just depends on whether I drive Assetto Corsa, yes or no.
So we'll have to wait and see then whether you make the lineup then next week.
Yeah, it was fun though. That being said, it's just that it conflicts with my calendar.
Tell you what though, for having so little practice to finish so well, I mean hats off. That's no easy feat at all. So you drove incredibly well to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think it's a track because it's Zandvoort, and I'm Dutch. I've driven the track plenty of times. I try hard at the track for a long time, and I've won since the beginning, since it was released this year. And I was still a bit mad about my tier 2 race, so I wanted to get some sort of redemption to show that I can drive this track. But I got that, so I think that's why it was possible. I'm not sure if that's possible on any track, but yeah, for Zandvoort, yeah. I was surprised though, but happy surprised.
It was a really good race and really good driving from yourself.
Thank you.
I'll move you back now then. So thanks for coming for an interview, and we'll maybe see you next week, or maybe not. But failing that, the viewers will hear from you next Wednesday in Tier 4 F1.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
All right, so let's bring in our last but not least, Pretorius. Good evening, and driver of the day as well today. So some incredible driving we saw from you today. It's a really, really commanding performance in the first race there, I think, from Paul, and then managing a decent sized gap for the entirety of that race. In fact, to take the win as well. And then, in the second race, I think you had a bit of a contact somewhere. I think yourself and Makenda both had front wing damage, and then somehow still managing to hang on till P4 to the end of that race as well. So, how was that for you?
Yeah, it was I would say one of the more boring Grand Prix, but the race one I led most of it except at the pit stop. And I was pretty surprised to still be in the lead after the pits because I thought I would lose out to, I think McKenna gambled and pitted on the first lap of the safety car and went on slicks. So I was surprised I still came out in the lead after that. But yeah, the future race was quite boring because I pretty much led the whole thing. And then of course in the sprint race it was Sod who lagged back and just caused a whole chain reaction of collisions, and McKenna and I got damaged. But so it was impossible to catch up to the top 3, but I at least managed to salvage what I could with P4.
Yeah, you had some incredibly good pace despite that front wing damage there. Were you feeling it a lot at all? Like, did you have to change your driving style quite a bit for that, or was it not too bad or too noticeable on this track?
I mean, it was just waiting ages for the front to turn in, really. It was just having to be patient with all that understeer. So yeah, it was not very difficult to drive, but it was just incredibly slow, unfortunately.
And did you have any wet time trial practice or anything before the race at all, or was that your first experience in? Oh, you did. Okay.
I did a lot of practice for this one.
So correctly predicted then that we might have a wet race at some point.
Yeah.
No, it was like I say, a really good race, really dominant race, and really well deserved driver of the day there. So congratulations. It was
thank you.
A really, really good performance from you today. So I think unless Eversnacks has anything else, I think that's
not quite. Well, in the feature race, I think you got a bit lucky there because I believe that McKender had wing damage under the safety car, or before the safety car, so he took that gamble, but also lost a lot of time there. So
Okay,
you
that
managed to hang
explains
on
it.
to that P1. And then
Yeah, okay.
definitely brilliant performance in the sprint race, hanging on to that position there. I think you even had a short battle with McKender right after you both got the wing damage as well, and you managed to get past him at some point. So definitely very good driving there.
Yeah, he was. I think it seemed like he had slightly more damage than me, I think, or something, because he was quite slow. So yeah, he surely must have had at least a little bit more damage. But yeah, that was unfortunately all I could really achieve that P4.
Yeah, but still very consistent drive, and you hang on to everything,
Yeah.
despite not having anyone to directly battle for a lot of that race. All right, then next week we're on to Silverstone. How do you feel about that
Yep.
track?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun one. I mean, we have driven it before in the F2 tier, so it's one of the more familiar ones. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun one with the fast corners and stuff. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're definitely also looking forward to commentating that. Should be a lot of fun overtakes there after we didn't see that much overtaking today. But definitely hoping to see you make stuff happen there again.
Yeah, hopefully. Unfortunately, not with of course with Bailey out of the tier. It's a bit more lonely, but yeah, it's gonna be fun anyways, I think.
Yep, certainly. So we'll look forward to seeing you there next week then, and yeah, see if you can capitalize on the momentum that you've gained from this weekend. But yeah, again, very good race, and yeah, we'll let you head off now then.
Yep, thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay, so I think that's it for another week.
Yes, that's been all of them. This has been Formula 2, round 5. We're going to be back in Silverstone next week at the same time with Formula 2 again. And tomorrow we're going to see the 2SRL tiers, of course.
Yeah, I think
so join
tier
us for
1
that
race,
if you
and then
want.
there's an ACC race, I believe, as well. And then yeah, we'll start this all again next week.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody, and see you again next week then.
Yep, have a good evening.
Goodbye.